Untamed is going to be untamed. It's going to be a little crazy. I want to talk to my people. I want to talk to my brothers and sisters. We can have grace and humility in how we interact with other people.
Oh, hot dog, look at you.
And nobody talked about what's really happening. And let's have conversations about what truth is.
In recognizing a communist, physical appearance counts for nothing. If he openly declares himself to be a communist, we take his word for it.
I am a democratic socialist.
You call yourself a democratic socialist?
I'm a democratic socialist.
Mamdani is a self-described socialist.
I am a democratic socialist.
Claire Valdez, this is a candidate, again, aligned with the Democratic Socialists of America.
I'm a proud democratic socialist.
I identify as a democratic socialist, but I'm running as a Democrat.
We will replace the frigidity of rugged individualism with the warmth of collectivism. We will prove that there is no problem too large for government to solve and no concern too small for it to care about.
If a person consistently reads and advocates the views expressed in a communist publication, he may be a communist.
Social media posts from Daria Avila Chevalier's old X account, including favorable references to communism, Marxist ideology, and authoritarian communist figures.
As Eugene Debs once said,
if a person supports organizations which reflect communist teachings, she may be a communist.
I've been a member of New York City DSA for 7 years.
Feed the rich and feed the poor. This is class war.
If a person defends the activities of communist nations while consistently attacking the domestic and foreign policy of the United States, she may be a communist.
Cuba has a remarkable public health system.
We remember Fidel Castro, whose legacy is complex.
Sort of the opposite of what the United States has.
You know, when Fidel Castro came into office, you know what he did? He had a massive literacy program. Is that a bad thing?
There's a lot of dissidents imprisoned in Cuba.
That's right.
The actions and U.S. contributions to the suffering of Cubans.
This particular bullying and the use of sanctions.
Like other U.S. policies, the cruelty is the point.
It does not help the people of countries like Venezuela.
Do you believe that the 9/11 terrorist attacks on America were the inevitable consequence of American foreign policy?
Inevitable in the sense that we destabilized a lot of the Middle East, that forced people to believe that another act of violence was the only response.
Social media post from Daria Avila Chevalier. One calls the United States an effing disgrace.
If a person does all these things over a period of time, he must be a communist.
I mean, our goal is liberation. Our goal is communism.
So welcome. The goal is communism because that's what we're living in right now. We're not living in a world where, and it's good. Here's what people will say, Joe, we can't talk about that. We can't say those things. We can't do that. We have to be willing to fight. How do we fight if we're right in the middle of it and we're talking about the fact that we're already communists? How do we fight back? We fight back because everything that you just saw was a culmination over the last 40 years of things that have been said about how communism has been at the forefront of this desire for evil people to take over and subvert our country. And that you can't have free and fair elections in a communist society. Do you think the people of Cuba would choose to be poor and not be able to have gas and have lines around the block and have the standard education system there be almost obsolete? You think they'd choose that? I mean, you'd have to be crazy to choose that. Where the land of opportunity gets turned into the land of despair, where the average young man or young woman that graduates from college, far be it, they do have feminism, but they have no prospects. But there is prospects, actually. There are prospects for people that go to Harvard that are a part of this little fraternity that they choose. So they get to choose winners and losers. And that ultimately is what communism is all about. We forget that because nobody's ever studied it. We can't get past the 1-minute TikTok video or the 2-minute, oh, that's funny, or hey, let's go watch videos about dogs. You're asked to go to town council member meetings or school board meetings, and it's just too difficult. Johnny's got to go to the soccer practice. When asked about the subversion that we have inside of the education system and the fact that they're grooming our children and doing things to them that, frankly, we should all be paying attention to, now we're told to sit down, shut up. We've got it handled. You're just phobic. You're just afraid of gay people. And you're actually not afraid of anything. You're afraid of the grooming of your children that'll take them in a direction that they'll never recover from. And how they tell you that they're going to recover from it, and how they tell you that they could justify their actions, is by telling you that if you do not let them do this, that there's a 40% possibility that they will kill themselves. So they use fear of the unknown, a boogeyman in a closet that doesn't exist, in order to tell you that you should be afraid of not reaffirming your child as turning into some sort of pink unicorn or cat, or God forbid, cutting off their body parts and saying that they have transitioned from male to female, leaving science at the door, leaving biology at the door, and then being told you're a phobe, you're a transphobe because you don't want to do this to your child. Now, at the same time all of this is happening, they're taking 56 cents on every dollar. And at the same time they're taking 56 cents on every dollar, let's watch out for some of the other things that they're putting in front of you. Property tax that makes it so that you rent your house from the government. You don't own anything. If you don't put a plate on your car, they'll come take your car from you. You can't drive it on the roadway. And although taxes should allow for public conveniences, we are now finding out that a vast majority of the taxes that we pay go towards nothing but entitlements to people that never deserve to take the things that they took. And as we sit here and we just fathom the idea that you live in a slave culture, or more defined, a communist culture, and that the people that are pushing towards that are actually not very smart people, but they're told that they're smart. But they don't want to work very hard. They want to be liberated from the idea that they have to work and be accountable to making sure that they raise kids in a system that can contribute in the next generation, spitting on those that for many generations leaked their blood in order to preserve the freedom that we have, or partially enjoy today, that was solidified over 250 years ago. Now, everything that we do right now is predicated on a trust me, bro. A government that says you're a risk or you're a problem if you stand up and tell the truth. See, it's not just the left that doesn't like me, it's the right that doesn't like me either. And while I despise those people that put things in a basket and say the totality of everything has to adhere to that, or black people are bad because of P. Diddy, or that Indian people are bad because they spend a lot of time creating Indian scams and coming over here telling you to go buy Best Buy gift cards. But it's not true. And it's not true that you have bad people and all of Israel is bad, or the Palestinians are all terrorists. What is true is when we look at something and say that's genocide, we should accept the fact that it fits the definition of genocide and not justify the killings of millions of people, even if it comes from our own government. It becomes very difficult for me because as a businessman who's very successful and has done very great things in his life, I've done stuff that I should never have had a seat at many of the tables that I'm at. I don't have a teleprompter. I don't sit on this show and try to figure out what I'm going to say next. Matter of fact, I go from one business deal to a lunch to congratulate my friend's daughter on graduating from high school, to doing a stand-up live deal about Burisma and Hunter Biden and the fact that they want to criticize President Trump, to walking in here and talking to you about communism. I want to show you something. This is what's happening now in our country. Communism is already here. I put this up and it said, this is what you call a fixed election. A selection of epic proportions. And all you do is have the ability to have mail-in ballots unaccounted for. 50-50 with an outlier of Scott Bottoms, who spent 2 years going all over the state. And you'd say, money. Barb spent less than Scott Bottoms. Again, we're not headed towards communism. We're already in it. Now, yesterday, it was 48% for Barb Kirkmeyer, 35% for Victor Marx, and 24% for Scott Bottoms. I'm sorry, 20% for Scott Bottoms. Scott Bottoms never moved. It was 20% across the board. The votes leaked in, 64,000 votes. Should have taken about 2.5 hours for them to count. They called the Democrat side right away, boom. And if you look at the numbers, they changed by 5 points within the first few minutes, given that same sort of analogy of the rule of large numbers, Barb Kirkmeyer should have run the roost of this at about 45%. Scott Bottoms spent 2 years walking door to door. The enthusiasm for Scott Bottoms was off the chart. He took the Republican, he had the top line. He took the Republican assembly and he got 20%. But he wasn't that good of a candidate, Joe. Well, I would say, okay, Barb Kirkmeyer did nothing. In the last 2 weeks, there was no enthusiasm for her at all. And yet, if you look community by community, county by county, she won a majority of every single one of them. And then there's the Victor Marx, the guy that came in that, frankly, if you would have said that many bad things about people, it's obvious that they wanted him to be the pick. And now you're neck and neck. You're neck and neck. You're neck and neck in this deal and saying to yourself, oh, you know what? I think I figured it out. People vote the same way every time, 50-50. 50% for Kirkmeyer, 50% for Scott Bottoms. And let's peel off just enough of the database in order to give Scott Bottoms a good showing. 20%. It's just not true. And by the way, one of the lowest turnouts. Only 30% or so of the people that could actually vote in the election did. And while those numbers on a off year and on a primary are typically lower, imagine that. Imagine that Democrats in the state outnumber Republicans. Now, a lot of this has to do with the fact that Republicans are tired of the milquetoast. They're tired of what the Republican Party has come to and has been in the state of Colorado, and they did that on purpose. They needed to make sure it couldn't fight back. And so when you have guys like me who run for state chair, they can't have me win. They can't have me win. But when you have mail-in ballots in a system that's designed to have no checks and balances except for ones that are largely made up, kabuki theater, easily manipulatable and right in front of your eyes, as if you were playing a 3-card Monte on the streets of New York City. And now all you see all over the thing is, I wonder if they're going to flip it, because I said it. They're going to flip this to Victor Marx, make it easy for the Democrats to beat, put a guy in there that frankly is diabolically flawed, that more questions than answers. He's an easy target. Not because Democrats will come out in droves to vote for Phil Weasel Weiser, a guy that is as corrupt as the day is long. And by the way, Democrats aren't stupid either. Democrats largely did not vote for Phil Weiser. The elections are probably rigged on the Democrat side. Why? Because they have to reward the people that have destroyed Colorado over the last 8 years. They have so much confidence in what has happened to Colorado that they voted overwhelmingly to take the guy that was AG, who's embroiled in some of the largest corruption cases in the state's history. They put him above Bennett, who has largely been unscathed, kind of a milquetoast Democrat. And then Diane DeGette, she's been in Congress for over 30 years. Over 30 years. She's one of the most senior people in the House. Got beat by a barista socialist. I'm not kidding. A barista that's a socialist. Spent very little money in the marketplace and it switched over to her because it's not the appetite of America to go that way. It is the appearance of the appetite, which is why President Trump has not been given access to the voter rolls. And it's why, in large part, we've ignored what Liberty Vote has done to our country, which is subverted. It is treason. And in the words of someone that works in the administration for President Trump, I don't see a way out in the next 5 years without a civil war. Why? Because we can't trust ourselves. We can't trust our side, let alone the other side that is constantly stealing from us what is never theirs to take. We've got a lot going on today. We got a lot going on. I don't know if we. I want to put this up here if we can. This is the Milat Kiros. Diane DeGette, 30 years in Colorado. Unseated DeGette. Go ahead and play it.
I think it's the most Democrat district in Colorado. It's almost the the district's almost almost entirely the city of Denver, a little bit outside the city, but not much. And so last week when these socialists won in New York, you heard the media say, well, this is just, urban New York. It's not really what we're all about. But now we're going to Denver in their most Democrat district, and we're taking a poll of Democrats, old Democrats, young Democrats, and saying, who do you want? And who do they want? They want a person identifying with the social Democrat Socialists of America, the Justice Democrats, whatever they are, which would be great to find out who's funding all of this.
It's just not true. Stolen elections have consequences. The country in 6 years did not lose its mind and decide, I want it to live in unsafe environments. Democrats are not stupid people. 700,000 people did not come out and say, yes, I want Democrat Socialists of America. I want Antifa running our public office. And I don't think we're going to get away with it. I don't think we're going to get to a place where it does not come to forcibly removing the election systems that are corrupt and fraudulent across the country. And I keep saying it. And everyone keeps saying it. And yet we went through the same kabuki theater, mail-in ballots, systems that have no sorts of checks and balances system, the idea that a 50-50 PID outcome between Kirkmeyer and Marx with Bottoms getting another 20%, just so happens 50-50 and 20%. So perfect. Kind of like Spamberger, 50-50. Everything's 50-50. And even more importantly, as Jenna Griswold has been embroiled in so many corruption cases, the woman should be in prison for the rest of her life, if not worse. And then she's predicted, put this post up, to be the Democrat primary winner for Attorney General. Her own staff, the people in her inner circle, say she's the most diabolical person they've ever worked with. She's toxic. Oh no, but they picked her. See, you have a cabal, you have a cartel, you have to continue that cartel, and this is just another continuation of that. And you'd say, well, no. They got up and they put the ballots in. Just because you put the ballots in, and you could say hand count, paper ballot, in person, that would have made a big difference. We have no idea who voted in our elections. We have none. Zero. We have no idea what ballots disappeared, what ballots were added. We have to trust you, bro. That's what communism is. Trust you, bro. And here's a post by Phil Weiser beating Michael Bennett. The cartel. Phil Weiser beats Michael Bennett, a huge upset. It's not a huge upset. It's a fixed election. It's a fraudulent election. Democrats are fixing it against Democrats. It is literally team evil against the good people in this country. Democrats are not retarded. And out of all the Democrat friends that I've talked to, and I talked to a lot of them, I just wanted to hey, what are you doing? Hey, Johnny, Lamont, what are you doing? Hey, guys, who you voting for? Not voting for team evil. I don't know. That guy did a terrible job when he was in the government to begin with. Well, we'll take a chance with Bennett. Okay. Not one person that I talked to was going to vote for him. Not one. Trump is trying to undo things, but he's not pulling the right lever right now. And the sheer volume of what is happening in our country is overwhelming. 20 to 30 million illegals, all let in for different reasons. And the chaos against the American people is astounding. And this woman testified in front of Congress the other day, and she was pissed. Play it.
One thing, because it's been plaguing me, and this is how messed up the situation is. This is why I'm sorry. I get so upset with your butts, and you don't want to talk about this. This is the fourth hearing. Do you know what I'm thankful for? And this is so messed up. I'm going to say I'm thankful. After hearing, I didn't even know what an angel family was. Had no idea. Never even heard about it. There's so many out here. You know what I'm thankful for? I'm thankful that my daughter was just shot in the back of the head, not raped, murdered, dismembered, put in a garbage can like Megan Boss with bleach poured on her, and they didn't fight her for 50 days. And you can actually dismiss the angel families. You can say, but you don't want to hear four sessions on angel families. I'm sorry, you need to. You need to. I'm actually thankful that my daughter wasn't raped. How messed up is that? That I'm thankful every day that she was just murdered, not raped and dismembered. Like, think about that. Like, how messed up is that? Do you know what I thought of this morning when I got up? What the joy of, anyone have a baby here? The joy of picking out their first outfit that they're gonna wear on their ride home from the hospital. I had to pick out my daughter's last outfit, and she was a fabulous dresser. We had 100 people come to our home. 100 friends and family came to her home. We had her cremated, actually, after. And they all decorated her urn with rhinestones. All of them put it on there. She is fabulous, even in death. But the first time, all the excitement of having a child and then having people make excuses and buts. I'm sorry. This is unacceptable. There are so many angel families out here. And the day that I have to wake up and be thankful that my daughter was only shot and not raped should tell you something. It's crazy.
They don't want to sit through it because the American people are an inconvenience. One side of those American people are diabolical. They want to bring in, usher in communism, all while telling us that they're here to help. The thing that has killed more Americans, killed more people around the world than any other ideology. But they prey on the weak and the stupid, the diabolical, the demonic. They go into the education system and they sell them on this grand idea. But the grand idea was never meant to be real. It was meant to seek and destroy and wreck education and push people into a place of no opportunity and to attack those people that have worked their entire lives, billionaires, take from them what was never theirs to take. And as we sit here and walk through this process, we are betrayed by the very people that say they're here to protect us. And here's an illegal alien based on the birthright citizenship that is saying the quiet part out loud. Play it.
You came to the United States to work, and I came to vacation. Look at the difference. She is the one that maintains me. That is why I don't work, because the government gives her what belongs to her, to my daughter, for being an American citizen. Capiche? I have no need to work because, well, guys, like few of you, this little princess, for being American, already receives a lot of money. Capiche? The trick is to have children in the United States. Here is the gold mine. The gold mine.
Americans can't have children. They can't afford to. Americans are told to abort your babies. Genocide an entire generation. Black babies or black Americans are treated worse than I think anyone. They get needled and prod and stripped of anything other than go be LeBron James, and if you don't make that, sell drugs, we could throw you in prison. Maybe you can make some license plates for us. But that was in a world where they actually had something where you could do something in prison. Now they're just wanting you to idle time and put yourself in an environment where when you get out, there's no motivation. They've stripped you of that as well. But they give illegals everything that's not theirs. They treat the American people as if they're slaves in their own land. They step over and spit on veterans that have defended this country. And they put us in a place where now the Supreme Court says that illegals, people from other countries, have more rights than we do as Americans. You must support them, slave. You are here to do their bidding, slave. 250 years of prosperity now pays the price, and you are going to pay it. I want you to see something else about how they treat Americans. This is a New York Housing and Vacancy Survey in New York. Let's go ahead and play it.
44% of rent-stabilized units in New York City are occupied by people born outside of the U.S. American-born citizens are subsidizing the foreign-born to live in our financial capital while driving up the prices on the remaining supply. There it is. What a surprise.
I pulled up the actual PDF document. Here it is. You can see newyorkcity.gov. And if you take a look here, take a look at this. Page 52 of 99. They hid this data on page 52 of this report, and here it is just so you can see it. We have the renters, and then we have the born outside the US, 40%. So buried on page 52, they tried to hide that 40% of the people taking this housing are not born inside America. And one other data point I want to show you is that American citizens need this housing. Take a look at this. The net rental vacancy rate is just 1.4%, the lowest since 1968. So there are so many Americans who need this rent-stabilized housing, but because of all these foreigners, they just can't get it.
40%. 40%. I was sent an email the other day, or a text message the other day, and in the text message it said, send money to another country. They had an earthquake. And I was like, you know what? We have our own earthquake right here. The American people are in the middle of absolute triage. We're losing limbs and taking away opportunity and watching our children get their penises cut off. And you're telling me that I got to send money to another country? I got to bleed for another country? Not interested. It's not that I don't care that they have something going on. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And most Americans are right there. Most Americans are like, listen, Johnny doesn't have any shoes. My rent's $3,000 a month. My health care is $2,000 a month. And I only make $5,000 a month. And then when you go to ask for entitlements or to incentives, and they're like, you know what? We'll just take your house. And we'll give it to someone who's here illegally. See, this is the sensibility. This is talking about truth in a way that got me canceled over and over and over again. We were just talking about it before. I'm like, I wonder what would happen if I wouldn't have gotten taken off of every platform. But no. You have these radical leftists, these globalists that come out and say, oh, I can't believe that you're saying this. And all I want to say to you is this. Fuck off. There's a t-shirt like that now. Fuck off! That's how I feel. And here's what's happening in Florida. So it's supposed to be super red, right? Super red. There's no part of the country that's not being overtaken by fraud. None. Not a state out there. Don't tell me that one governor's doing a better job than another. It's not true. They're just better at hiding it. Because the leadership in our country is designed to betray the very people they say they represent. It's destroy everything that is yours. President Trump can see it now from the inside out. And we're slowly not losing our rights. We're slowly realizing that we never had any rights. It's been decades. Here's the imam talking about what Florida's doing for them. Like Texas, kind of like Florida. Play it.
We are buying these churches. We bought 3 churches so far, converted them to masjids, and now we have one we are buying with a school to make it, because we have to serve the same people. The people who were part of that community, one day they will be Muslims. So we'll make it into a masjid and an Islamic school for our children and their children, inshallah. 100 years ago, they invaded the Muslim world and they built missionary schools and destroyed Islamic schools and masjids. Today, we bring the favor back, turn their churches into masjids and their schools into Islamic schools. Bring the light of Islam to here. We're able to buy ready to go institutions that have been there for a long time, but they emptied out. And now it is time to be filled with Muslims, with reverts, converts. This is an election year, but we're not going to be happy with either candidate. We have to be happy when Islam becomes the best candidate for us. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give Islam the victory in this country.
There you go. 3 churches to mosques. And let's take a sneak peek of what we face now with some of the dumbest human beings known to man, the lowest IQ people in the world, I believe. I don't actually think that, I think Cro-Magnon man has nothing on these people, and that is the people of Somalia. I mean, you could throw a brick through a window, you'd have a better chance of actually talking back to you. Play it. No. I'm perfectly. I'm happy. I'm happy that we are going down this path where Christians are being persecuted, Muslims are having 6 and 7 wives and getting government entitlements. Layering centers are being set up everywhere for retarded people from one country in particular. No, I'm perfectly happy with it. And not to say that every Somali is stupid. I have a friend that's Somali. I think he's actually partially Somali and partially Kenyan. The Kenyan part of him is really smart. Should I say that out loud? I said it out loud. I said what I said. Man. We have a guest that's going to be on the show with me. He's been on the show several times with me. His name is James McAndrew. Lives in Colorado. He sees all the things we're going through. Strong supporter of Tina Peters and has been involved with some of the stuff going on in the state party for sure. And I got some questions for him. He's been sitting here listening to me for the last half hour. And now we're going to get to working the problem to work the problem. James, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So what do you think? I saw your head nod in disappointment. Or shaking your head. No.
Oh, with the Somali video? Well, I mean, I can't comment on any of that.
Can't?
But good video. A lot of fun to watch that. So we're breaking everything down?
I mean, look, at the end of the day, I have been blasted for the last 6 years for standing up and saying the quiet part out loud, right? I mean, is what I'm saying. I mean, do you want to be the arbiter of my reality and tell me how wrong I am? I mean, I know that weak people have said I'm wrong, but where am I wrong? So, correct the errors of my ways.
Well, unfortunately, I can't because a lot of those conclusions are correct.
What's one that aren't? You said a lot of those, so there has to be something that isn't. What's not?
What isn't what?
What isn't correct? Somalis have a higher IQ than I said. Than a brick. I guess that would be untrue. True.
You can have all of those. No, I thought you were talking about the Islamic piece.
Yeah.
Prior to that. If you don't notice the ops, I mean, it's not just, they'll isolate all kinds of stuff. They're not going to talk. You played a video earlier with, what I would presume to be a, South American individual with a baby talking about all that stuff, being really obvious about it. I think those videos are interesting because meanwhile you have the same people running the elections that are ushering all these different groups in parceling out the United States and just kind of keeping everybody's head on a swivel because it's coming from all directions. And that's not to say one group wants to win, I will tell you that. So, and all the people that are helping them along the way, I mean, make no mistake, you'll be the first ones gone. So have at it if you want to deal with that. But the biggest piece what's going to happen here with the elections? There are no elections.
I don't know. You tell me.
What?
I feel like the elections are one big game.
I mean,
and the more I speak about them, the worse it seems to get. And everybody's like, "You're a sore loser, Joe." Maybe that's it. Am I a sore loser?
In your face, like it's they're not even. It's like two dogs pissing in the yard now. They used to at least hide it. Now we need the hose. But I don't understand why any of this thing, the primary, even matters at the end of the day.
Do you understand the law of large numbers?
Yeah.
The concept behind that?
I mean, generally speaking, probably not as well as you.
So let me just break it down for you. People are not 50-50 people.
No.
If you look at the election, and I did this with another guest that I had on, if you have 7 votes and I have 3 votes, what percentage of 100 do you have?
All 100%.
If you have 7 and I have 3,
yes.
What's your percentage? Out of 10 votes, what percentage do you have?
I have 30%.
No, you have 7, I have 3.
Oh, I have 70%.
You have 70%. Okay. Now, I'm going to use a stored procedure and I'm going to make it so that some sort of rootkit happens. And I have this system, and so everybody understands this is what me and Mark Cook did on here years ago. This allows me to have a separate database. We can fill in the blanks later. And the system, because it has an ADA requirement to be able to generate ballots out of thin air that look like they've been filled in by the public, by the human hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to add 1,000 votes to yours. I'm going to give you 1,007 votes. But I'm also going to give myself 1,000 votes because, I'm feeling generous. How many ballots, what percentage do you have now?
I'm going to tell you, what you have is bullshit. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really make a difference. Like, everybody can see that in the graph.
That's my point, brother.
It's walking everybody through the weeds of that is fine in a lot of ways, but this has to come top down. Something has to happen. At this point,
James hates math.
So obvious that there's how many more flags do we have to raise? We've got lockstep parallel motion. We know all the people talking to a lot of the people up there you talk to as well.
Yeah.
How many more flags do you raise before we're staring down the people that know that we know and they know, and it's just two groups of people staring at each other and we're just watching them do it again?
So Jeff says the House always wins. We need an Ocean 15 type of take back. And everybody needs to go watch Ocean 15 again to understand what Jeff's saying here. Hey, Guido, come on, we got to work this out. Take back the House. Let me just clarify for everyone, because it said, well, what is the vote? If I give you 1,000 votes, and I take 1,000 votes, you now have 1,007.
Okay.
And I have 1,007.
Right.
Now that seems fair, right? But if you had 7 votes and I had 3 votes, what percentage did you have?
I had 70%.
Okay. But I gave you 1,000 votes, but I also gave myself 1,000 votes. Now what percentage do you have?
Gosh, just over that. Just over
50.03%. And I have 49.97%.
I failed out of high school because of math.
Okay.
I actually, speaking of Guido, I actually had a maid guy actually help me graduate high school. So for whatever it's worth.
Listen to me. What I'm trying to get to is, by the way, the fact that you weren't picking up on that before, it's not uncommon. Most people go through the math and they're like, okay, hold on a second. I just had 70% and now I'm at 50-50.
So who are we speaking to?
Listen, if you inject 1,000 ballots over time and 1,000 ballots on my side over time,
yes,
you can dilute it down to a place. PID controllers are really simple. Your thermostat uses PID controllers.
Believable. It's plausible.
It seems believable until you look at it. Until you look at it using mathematics, and then it's not just improbable; it's impossible. And the same thing just happened in this vote with Barb Kirkmeyer. Barb Kirkmeyer didn't try. She didn't have to.
She didn't have to do anything.
She had a debate that she went to with Scott Bottoms and Victor Marx, and she did pretty well. She did pretty well at that debate,
and as she presents herself as the safe.
Okay, but hold on a second.
Right?
The same people that were watching Barb do really well in that deal. watched Victor Marx not do well.
Mm-hmm.
Victor Marx looked like he was tripping over his tongue.
Fell on his face a couple of times.
And he said, "You're not that nice." And it was almost embarrassingly laughable.
A train wreck. On the surface, a train wreck.
And then Kyle Clark did an interview with Victor Marx. If that didn't clean it up, if all the other stuff of Victor Marx didn't clean it up, Kyle Clark does an interview with him and says, "How many people have you killed?"
And Comedy Central picks this up.
I found myself on HBO, by the way. They were talking about me being an anti-Semite, which I'm not, which, by the way, is giving us good cause to actually sue people, which is pretty awesome, actually. It just takes so long to sue people, by the way. Man, just to drop the first lawsuit is crazy.
It's long up.
All right. But the reason why I'm saying it is simple, it's really simple. The same people that watched Victor Marx fall on his face that saw Scott did a fairly decent job. He did a great job at that debate. The only debate that Karl Marx showed up to. And now they're locked in 50-50 with Scott Bottoms at 20%, who spent 2 years going across the entire state. Forget everything else. The optics don't compare.
Funny
they don't compare.
You said Karl Marx, that's his dad.
Yeah, his dad was named as Karl Marx.
Yeah, it's his dad's name.
It's funny how the Republican. By the way, I was at. I want to point this out. I was at Scott Bottoms' victory party. I was praying it would have been a victory last night. And a woman walks up to me, and she said, "You know, I used to be a liberal, and then I'm a new Republican. Makes me want to run over and get independent." So I'm listening to her, and I start talking to her about the election systems and don't abandon it. And then she did it. She did the thing that people that are truly still radically left, that are pretending to be right, do. And that is show utter disgust. Right? But utter disgust for what I was saying, not for... And I looked at her and I shook my head a little bit and I was like, "You have a good night." The Republican Party is largely filled with people who want to do harm to it. And the Democrat Party is filled with people that are doing harm to it. And we're stuck in the middle, trying to figure it all out.
Well, you've got a lot of the same things in our GOP that are happening in all of them, and it's mostly infiltrated.
Okay, here's a question. What does the law of large numbers have to do with Joe's hypothetical scheme? It's not hypothetical, it's the way it works. Okay, injection of phantom and fraudulent ballots is exactly how you'd have to do it. And you'd have to do it in equal proportions on either side in order to make it actually work so that it looks like it can work out. The law of large numbers is if you take a sampling from every precinct, right? You take 10,000 votes from 64 precincts, let's say. Those 64 will add up to a certain rate. You'll have a certain rate that happens, right? And the percentages of people will start to even out. So what'll happen is at the beginning of the count, it'll go up to a certain level, and then it'll do this. It'll slowly move in one direction or another. Okay? The rule of large numbers is that the more numbers you have, the more predictable the outcome is. So when they figure out what those numbers are, when you get to that area, and you start bringing in more votes, the likelihood of a 8 to 10 point swing is almost impossible. It's nearly impossible. That would mean people at the end of the line were all one way. And every single election, if you look at the outcome of every election that is fixed, they all do the same thing. They all carry the same characteristics. It's mathematically not possible, but they all carry the same characteristics. At the beginning of the night, there was over 90,000, 100,000 ballots each, let's say. Scott had 20,000 exactly, 19.9% of the vote. Barb Kirkmeyer had 48%, and Victor Marx had 35%. That was a 13-point spread. It was a beta of 6.5 points either side, and within an hour, it went straight up to Victor Marx. You had a pretty good sample size. You had nearly half of the votes that were counted. And all of a sudden, Victor Marx is now within 0.2%. How's that check for you?
Perfectly believable. Mostly because, although I'm looking at it from a different spot. I mean, you were going on it before. Scott Bottoms goes from door to door. He's actually canvassing for 2 years, going after it, actually having a campaign, spending the money that he was asking for, right? Victor Marx has some money that just shows up, boop, and he's shiny and polishy, and all of a sudden this cowboy comes into Colorado to save the day on the heels of an assassination of an American. And then you have Barb Kirkmeyer that no one knew, that's already in the Senate now, has lunch with all the same people anyway, so she's probably guaranteed a job somehow along the way. That makes sense to me, but it's very interesting that those two are at 50-50.
And Scott is exactly.
That's not even close to a shock.
What's not a shock?
That Scott is where he's at. So if you look at the counties, you have Barb and Victor went back and forth a few times, but it was mostly Barb. But the numbers are consistent in the middle of it. But what was most consistent was Scott in every single county, every single one.
Yeah.
So, you know, however it sounds, like that, none of that's shocking. They just make it up. They still tabulate it.
Right.
It's still going. It doesn't really matter what the variable is, whether it's mail-in or it's this, you know, they try to carve out a path to just, I'll just take one variable out. It doesn't make a difference. It goes through the same machine. And they go, this is what we're going to do. And as you're just dumbing it down for people, right? 50% and 2 people tied for that, and just a fucking clean number like that.
Yeah. What about the Attorney General? The Attorney General is 60.2% for Michael Allen, and David Wilson is 39.8%.
You know,
so you have 60-40. So you have 50-50, 60-40, 70-30. You know, not like, okay, 67%, 63%, 64%, just 60-40. And you have people that didn't show up to be able to vote, that couldn't vote. But all of those people just anomalously just add up to an equal 50-50. And it's not, guys, listen to me, this not just this election. It's every election. Every election is this way. Every election.
They're not even getting clever anymore.
It's not, I don't think you even have to be clever.
No,
at this point.
Specifically not.
So Mort asked the question, 90% of ballots are fake. Are 90% of ballots fake? No. 90+% of elections are fake.
Synthetically produced.
And look, Mort, I know this is hard I know as I'm sitting here saying those things, it's hard to fathom. Like, how in the world do you get to a place where you can say that 90% of elections are fraudulent? And it's a hard indicator, right? Well, but let's look at it. We don't have a system by which we can verify voters, right? You have a black box. You have mail-in votes, and you don't have any sort of control over bloated voter rolls. Why would you do that? Why would you not fix that part?
Why wouldn't you fix any part? So, like, that's the next piece. Like, what's to be done?
Why did Congressman Feely in 2002 go and ask a company to generate an election system that could withstand the scrutiny and flip votes inside the system? Why would he do that? It wasn't a part of his job. And why would he go to a Chinese company in order to get it done? And why in 2004 was there, this is on the heels, by the way, of the hanging Chad in 2000. So they built this system. And in 2004, if you remember what happened in Venezuela, Hugo Chavez was elected. Now in 2003, Venezuela was the 3rd most wealthy country in the world. Doctors were making more money than they've ever made before. The oil-rich country has the largest reserves. Nearly 18% of oil in the world comes out of Venezuela. Of the known oil reserves are in Venezuela. 2004, Hugo Chavez is elected. And what happened by 2008? Just 4 years later. By 2008, it was near a destitute country. And doctors, lawyers, white-collar positions were now eating out of trash cans, barely able to survive. Dissidents were locked up by the hundreds of thousands. People were marched into fields and murdered. The U.S. said nothing. Those election systems were built by a company called Smartmatic. Smartmatic was owned by Venezuelans, by Venezuela, largely influenced by other countries and this thing called the CIA in the United States. If that were true, why bother talking about elections and endorsements at all? Because President Trump has to do what he's going to do. People have to do what they're going to do. And we have to draft on the ability and the motives of other people that say that they're there to help. And when they're not, we have to readjust. We have to pretend. We have to practice voting and making sure we stay engaged. But even with that, 70% of the Republican field did not vote. 55% of independents did not vote. 60% or so across the board did not vote. That should tell you everything you need to know. But if you check Smartmatic and then you connect it to Sequoia voting systems, what happened with Sequoia? 17 states and the District of Columbia. They were forced sale in 2010. By 2012, it was now fully Dominion Voting Systems, a Serbian company that went and created a company in Canada that was parked right next to, same floor as George Soros's 501c3. True story. And they come in and they take over other elections, get to where they have 50% of the vote of the American people. All the elections in Venezuela are absolutely stolen. Nobody questioned it. We didn't even think about it. It wasn't even a thing to think that somebody would steal an election here. Congress starts talking about it. Then 2020 happens. 2016 happened. Then 2020 happens. And now here we are.
Still.
6 years later.
Still using the same system.
Yeah.
So.
You hope, by the way, Maude, that it's too big to rig. You hope. You hope that you can get to the place where, remember, they have to predict an outcome. They have to predict that the data will tell them this many people would defect. But now the system is so smoothed out that it doesn't even matter. It does not matter what the outcome is. If it gets too close on one side, they just stop counting. Add to it, push more out.
Yeah. And what groups are they helping to get into office?
Democrat Socialists of America. They're
Mamdani isn't just that.
Listen, if we were talking about Bernie Madoff, you guys would have more confidence in what I'm saying. They're batting 100, guys. They've won every single race since President Trump was elected. 100% of them. They won a seat in the reddest part of Pennsylvania that hasn't had a Democrat sit in that seat since the 1970s. On the heels of President Trump winning, all of a sudden the appetite changes and it goes to a Democrat. Spanberger was a CIA agent because the country trusts CIA for sure. And Spencer Pratt was probably the most obvious that we have. Tell me it's not.
Well, it took him a few days to finally tally that. Like, that's open as well. No, we're going to just keep it open for 2 weeks. It's mockery at this point. You know, if you know that they've been careful from 2016 and then for sure 2020, right? Somewhat careful, aside from having a terrible AI program that left a fingerprint of redundancy all over it. But now they're just making it up. Here you go. making it up, and really leaning into the lack of care of the people, be they conservative, liberal, or Democrat. They are absolutely leaning onto the fact that most people they've given up hope. They've given up hope.
Okay, so can I point something
and they
out?
don't even try.
Jeff said something. They were reduced to eating zoo animals. This is true.
And burning their money for fire.
For burning their money for fire. And Badass says, would it help to petition rally out to get out the vote? Okay, this is how retarded the Republican Party is. When we were going through the debates with Craig Steiner and everyone else, they said what? We're just going to get out the vote. Didn't I say that? Yeah. You can't outvote the machines.
No.
You can't outvote the machines. See, in Arizona.
How about if you rebrand, Joe? Can you outvote them?
Look, Kerry in Arizona tried to outvote the machines. So they just broke the machines and made it so people couldn't vote. You know what I mean?
As most of the Republican.
Do you remember they did that?
Oh yeah, took down whole areas, entire counties. Oh, you can't vote here, and it's oh.
Then it went in front of a judge, and the judge says, "I know that you were disenfranchised. People were disenfranchised, but there's nothing we can do about it." So even when you have cause to do something about it, the judge sides with Team Evil because he's a part of Team Evil. Team Evil put him in that position. And I knew 2 days before, go back and check the video. I was like, he's already going to rule against him. He's not even paying attention. I looked at the judge, kind of like I looked at the woman that was at Scott Bottom's deal. And I'm like, you're a communist. You're actually a person that is here saying you're on this team, but you're really not. I just saw what you didn't want me to see. We are in a really bad place right now. We're in a really bad place. So in 2024, Trump won by just shy of 2 million votes over Kumbala. So 75 million of his ballots were fake? No, we don't know. See, that's the whole thing about not knowing about black box systems. You don't know what votes are real or not real. You don't know. Until you have paper ballots in person, people come up and walk up with an ID and they vote in person, which, by the way, is how it's done in every other country except for the United States. We're the only Somali nation in the world other than Somalia. And what I mean by that is we're the only retards in the entire world that can't set up a free and fair election by making sure we get back to basics. We can't do it. We know all the corruption. What are the solutions? The solutions is we take it back by eviction. That's what the solutions are. We evict them. James, what's the solution? Do you think that's a good solution?
There's certainly some groups that would like that, and certainly some people that are capable of it. But I mean, there are a lot of people, but you have to be careful with that. There's also people, they want a hot war. They want a civil war. They want people to kill each other. Shit, they might want people to take out that leadership so that they don't have to later anyway. I mean, it's that simple, as crazy as it sounds. But at what point? I mean, this is no seven. I mean, we're coming up on 250 years. Where's the tarring and the feathering?
Yeah, this is where President Trump says that I'm doing the best I can, right? He's fighting against Congress that wants to be political. He's fighting against the politics and the politicos that say nothing to see here. He's fighting against the people who say, I want justice. And he's watching stuff happen. He can see it. He can see it.
That can't agree to have an identification card to vote. That's what it's all about. Everybody, it's about the fact that they just think people are disenfranchised if they have to reach into their wallet and hand a card that proves who they are. It's nonsense, and it leads to some pretty dramatic action as a response. And I'm not necessarily advocating for that for people. But if something doesn't happen top down,
we're done. We're in a civil war. We're going to go to war. And the war, by the way, and I said it before, I think we have our targets. I think there are targets out there, and I think we know who they are. And it's not my neighbors.
Birthright citizenship for, say, for an Islamic man who has 10 wives and 20 kids that are automatically American citizens, all right? And then Christians, what's their birthright? That's
1.7,
right? I mean,
but you can't have kids, guys. This is the problem.
And exactly,
you can't have kids. How do you afford to have kids?
You've priced everybody out, and those extra tax dollars are going to all of those groups.
All right, look
to make sure that you're subsidizing that. So, and those are your new United States citizens. They're taxing people out of their financial autonomy.
Okay, so let's talk about this for a minute. It's super important. Okay, this is super important. Get at what James is saying right now. Okay? Who pays for healthcare?
Taxpayers.
White people? People that are Christians?
Nope, just taxpayers.
No, they don't. That's not true.
Who's paying for it?
Who pays for it?
Who's paying to subsidize people in this country?
Yeah.
Well, you want to go through the bond market first?
Well, I mean, let's talk
you
about.
You want to go into printing money?
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about printing money if you want to talk about.
I mean, they're printing money at the end of the day. If this is all fungible, they're passing on the debt to the taxpayer.
And it's not white people like white people. It's white people meaning we demonize white people. We demonize Christians. We let Muslims have 500 kids with 8 different wives. I mean, they're tired. Those women are tired. They have all these kids. They get all the entitlements. You have 10 kids, you get 10 entitlements. And here's the other thing: they get free healthcare, free childcare, free education. Where's the education for if you're a white person? If you are a white person in the United States, how can you afford to have kids? And don't think about it from my perspective, like top 3% of the population. Let's talk about the 97% out there.
Well, I mean, I don't think that most average citizens at all can have children.
I know you don't want to talk about the obvious. I'm not talking about this from a racial standpoint.
No.
I'm talking about it from there's no other race out there right now that is under constant attack as somewhere along the line it's white people are the problem.
I think it really boils down to Christianity, and Christians are being removed.
I have more friends of mine who are black and Hispanic who come to me and said,
I can have a bunch of kids.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem people don't understand. That 56 cents on every dollar goes there. But it's such a disproportionate system. See, some things that the radical left say is true. Like the education standards for the poorest among us are absolutely abhorrent. But that when they do get into those education environments, they're actually groomed into an environment where they hate where they came from and they don't do anything to help them because they made it out. It's like getting a helping hand out of the ocean and a shark's about to eat you. You're like 50 other people in the ocean that you need to save, and you're like, yeah, I'm not going back in there. Self-preservation over the idea that we can have collectivism, that we can collectively, make it better and create opportunities for our community.
Yeah, and they've created the setting to brew the bullshit of that story. They're the reason why everybody's in the situation that they are in the neighborhoods that they're in.
Yeah. So the top white 1% pay. Yeah. I mean, and it's not just white, but if you're even at the top, you don't pay any taxes. You find a way to get out of them, right? So, and I'm not, again, it's not about race. It is about religion because Christians do not afford the same thing. And people are running away from Christianity every day because the pastors are feckless cowards who keep telling everyone that, hey, just stay in here, give us your money. And they've become weak and pathetic too. They don't fight for anything. They selectively use the Bible in order to stand things up. And you have this takeover of faith and people that are fake. I mean, how many pastors every day? How many men of faith every day are caught with porn filling their computers?
Constant.
It's every day.
And who are the people kicked out of the churches?
And these, by the way, are the same people that, I mean, I had a guy on my socials earlier today. He's like, oh, Scott Bottoms is not as good, godly a man as he is. And he told me to F this and S my wiener. And I was like, so I went to his page and he's like, I'm headed to a mission trip to Dominican Republic. And I was like, yeah, let's trust this guy. Let's trust the guy that's going on a mission trip that probably binge watches porn and cheats on his wife. That's what the church largely has become because we have allowed it to become that.
Well,
Is that a lot? That's
and
a lot.
they don't vote.
And then they don't vote.
They don't vote.
They don't want to vote. They just want, give me your money. Just give me your money. You know, the rapture's coming.
They don't talk about politics in terms of any kind of value whatsoever that's concurrent with the Christian faith. They don't do anything. Where's the money go?
Yeah. So I don't know how to say this name, but too many everyday people in Ohio think there is no fraud because those same people would not admit the judiciary is rotted to the core. And that makes those people say, because the judges will not look. It's true. Super true. Yeah. And yes, Victor Marx is one of those give me your money pastors.
With a special prayer for you.
Yeah. Did you watch the show yesterday with Father Bahada?
I did not.
It was really good.
I did not.
We almost went like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I almost took him off the third rope.
Did you really?
No.
Oh. he told me he talked to me before here. He told me about the subject matter. So I understand
it was good.
There was some themes. There was one in particular.
Which one?
Right. Was there Islam was a theme here?
Islam was a theme because, and it wasn't the Islam of, and we just talked about the Christian church.
Mm.
Is that the whole Christian church? Are you that type of Christian?
What?
The binge watch on porn and cheat on your wife? Right? I mean, and you have, what's that guy's name?
And not a leader of church either.
Well, even if you weren't, you're still Christian, right? So what kind of Christians go to church and then you find out that and it's not Republican or Democrat. Everybody likes to look at it and say, okay, what was his registration card, Democrat or Republican? It's not that at all. Do we have someone, by the way, coming in after right now? Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. All right. So you got to spend time with Laura Logan.
Mm-hmm.
You got to spend time with Tina Peters.
I did.
You got to spend time with, let me just run through the list, or you
with
want
you?
To talk us? Yeah.
Who else?
Oh, you tell me.
That's it. It was really great to see her. Always great to support Lara. Good friends. They actually, we were down in Dallas after Tina. We got to see Tina. Was really happy to see that she got to have lunch with the president.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's wonderful. They're great. I mean, you're talking about two absolute diamonds, American treasures. So,
you know what I find interesting is we're sitting here talking, and I went on that diatribe to begin with. Is that as we start talking about the breaks in America, we there are people that are building ideologies that align with the subversion of the United States.
100%. Constant.
And that woman talked about her son or daughter being murdered and how grateful she was that her daughter wasn't raped and then murdered.
It's happening at a horrendous rate. And I like the fact that there is a woman telling that story and that's getting air.
They didn't care.
They don't care. Even now, they don't care at all. These people have to be removed. They're, Massey just had his move to look into what the slush fund to look into or what to settle sexual misconduct cases, right?
Yeah.
Wherever that goes from there. That to say, they're doing all of that.
Yeah, they are.
they're a part of that.
Yeah.
They either know about it or they're involved directly or indirectly. They're implicated one way or another. We're looking at criminals running the country straight up. And there are some good forces up there actually trying to whack through the weeds. And it is tough. There are a lot of people that are just planted. It's not about them not wanting to get rid of their power. It's what happens if they don't have any. They're done. The goose is cooked. And
well, I want to put this up if we can. This is an interesting little play. Let's see if I can. I'm going to send you guys a few things if we can, that we can maybe put up and talk about. Here you go. Boop. In Virginia, and I just want to talk about what happened in Venezuela. I think we're headed towards a place where we're not going to get out of it. We're not going to get out of it. I see what's happening in Colorado. I talk to Democrats. None of the Democrats feel that way. Imagine being able to fake an entire election system.
Captured.
Imagine being able to fake the whole thing. Just fake it. Just fake the entire thing. Dropping ballots off. Let's say that the ballot totals are off by 30%. Maude, I'm gonna say something you might not like it. Let's say that it is 40% of the vote that are fraudulent. When you mail in ballots, when you mail back ballots, because you can mail back a ballot, you don't have to drop it off in the mail. You can drop it on the mail, right? Where is your accountability for that ballot? Where? It's trust me, bro, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you get an email. Hey, we received your ballot.
So let me go back to, because Maude said something about the law of large numbers as well. Like, what does one have to do with the other? Let's just assume that 1,000 people are sending in their ballots. Well, how would you know if it was 10,000 that sent in their ballots?
There's no way to know that.
Why?
There's no transparency of that.
Why?
Because, trust me, bro.
I mean, but how would you be able to verify it? Is it a signature?
They don't do any of that.
So my point is this. We literally want to trust a system that you cannot verify.
At all.
You can't verify inside the system because in Colorado specifically, you're not allowed to look underneath the hood.
Did they release the CVRs yet?
No.
No?
But even if they did, the system has gone through so many iterations over the last couple of years.
Oh, they fixed it?
They didn't fix it. They just made it more difficult. They randomized it. They scattered things inside of the thing in Arapahoe County. We caught that and then replaced the file. Right? That actually happened. And yet the judge won't do anything about that either.
No, it can't.
Look, we are in a place right now where our country is completely gone. We are in communism. But look at what happened in Venezuela. And look who gets to benefit from the ultimate destruction of our country. It's not you, it's not me.
No. It's everybody but.
Right. I want to put this up here real quick. So this is Spanberger. Spanberger, by the way, really diabolical. Diabolical. Remember, she won by 50.3%. Says James O'Keefe just dropped a nuke. Widespread vote buying ring exposed nationwide as Dems and secret rhinos pay $5 to $8 per ballot to rig every election. To rig every election. Undercover footage catch these hired guns openly bragging, I'm bringing in 3,500 votes. He was paying me $5K a month. Now it's $8K. Even judges and Texas Republicans caught secretly working for Democrats while funneling thousands of fake ballots. This is deep state's desperate election theft machine in action. Our republic is being sold out in broad daylight for chump change. We need a SAVE Act passed immediately and mass arrest and prosecution for these treasonous fraudsters before they steal the 2026 too. Follow me. The next drop will be shocking. All right, listen, take the right side or left side of this, if you would, and let's blow it up. Keep us on here. I want you to read this for me, James. You can read. You have your glasses? You good to read?
Yes.
All right. Can you blow it up? So just the President Trump part, if you would, please.
That's a video.
There we go.
Heading to Virginia for meetings at Trump National. I can't believe what this new governor, Spanberger, has done to the Commonwealth. So sad. She is adding so many taxes of food and beverage tax, digital services tax, utilities tax, and more. It has lost its energy, vitality, and strength. People are leaving that never had even thought of doing so. New companies that signed to come into the Commonwealth under Governor Youngkin are now looking for ways to get out, break their deal. It all happened so fast. This went from a thriving and powerful place, one envied by all, to a Commonwealth run by a person who has no concept of low taxes and economic strength. People that voted for Spanberger are saying to themselves, why did I do that? What have I done? We have a similar situation in New York, and most of all in California, where rich job-producing people and companies are being forced to flee at levels never seen before. The tax base in California is literally disappearing, as some of the richest people and companies in the world have no choice but to leave. They want to put on a wealth tax, which gives them absolutely no alternative. As President of the United States, I'm embarrassed to watch the destruction of a once great and thriving states. These politicians are all sinking in the polls, but that doesn't help because they will create trillions of dollars worth of destruction, incalculable amounts. Remember, once people and companies leave, they are never coming back.
All right, so listen, go ahead and play that video if you would. Just play it. It's native form like that. You have to back it up. It's at 18 seconds.
Ma'am, earlier this week, there was a poll-up that had your numbers a little unfavorable, and then your predecessor, Glenn, was making a podcast run earlier this week to taking a couple jabs at you. I guess overall, on your numbers, what do you attribute that to, and then what would you say back to Glenn?
I would say, if everybody hated me, why is everybody putting my face on their mailers for the referenda?
Do you know what she is?
Well,
she's a CIA agent. And nobody is putting her face on referendums. It's radical DSAs that are doing that.
It's thick.
And the question is really Nanny. I'm going to just call you Nanny. Nanny 1954. But where can the companies and people go? Guys, listen, this is the stranglehold. This is the thing where I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. Kyle Clark, pay attention. Dirtbag. They can't. They are backing the American people into a corner. They're backing all of you into a corner. Backing you into a corner. Absolutely. Backing you in a corner. Patriot Parabellum, it happened live, bud. And you were referring to Pulitzer connecting a voting machine to Wi-Fi. He did not do that. It's a lie. He never did that. That never happened. Patriot, what he did is he walked in and he said that he had, right then while he was inside of that meeting, hacked into a light switch or something to the effect that he didn't. It was a lie. It was later found to be false. The attorney that represented Javon Pulitzer in that deal later fired him as a client as a result of the fact that he couldn't verify or create any receipts for anything that he said that he had or was able to create. It didn't happen. Sorry. I'm just telling you the truth. It may not be convenient, but it is true. The reality of it is we have nowhere to go. Mamdani, President Trump gets in 2 years ago. So the same country that elected Donald Trump is the same country that has moved towards socialist regimes across the country?
Not even close.
Do you even understand what is happening here? And a larger majority of people in Colorado voted for President Trump than ever before. That voted that direction during the 2024 election. Trust me, bro, so accurate. Justice for Holt, thanks for the $5. Appreciate it, brother. And here's another guy, Eric Holt, who's a fire chief. He gave up his work, was fired from his job for uncovering voter fraud. And the person that was responsible for covering up is the one running for attorney general on the Republican side, not the Democrat side. Our country's bought and paid for by leadership that is absolutely just terrible. diabolical even. Pretty crazy.
No nothings.
No nothings.
Absolute no nothings. They'll just do it. They'll do it for a Safeway gift card.
I want to play something for you. Can I? No?
Oh, please, please, please. Just for me.
But yeah. I wanted parental guidance is recommended.
Yes.
I want to. There's a reason why. There's a reason why I'm showing you this, and I don't know. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Hey, we're going to do a commercial break. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about Citizen Vigilante.
Yeah, you like that?
Have you watched it?
I've seen a lot of it at this point.
All right, let's go to a commercial break. We'll be right back. Come join the DCF family today, where we keep the range hot and the deals hotter.
Oh, hi. I almost didn't see you there. Welcome to DCF Buns, where you can find the freshest buns in town, if I do say so myself. Oh, our master bakers teach class every week. So whether you're new to baking or trying to improve your culinary skills, we got you covered. And we can help you bake the cake of your dreams. We'll even clean your cake if you want. And if you don't want to bake anything yourself, we have loads of fresh buns available in a variety of shapes and sizes. Check us out at dcfbuns.com to learn more. DCF Buns, we keep the buns hot and the deals hotter. Buns.
All right, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a few things. When I watched the Citizen Vigilante, I had to go back and watch it twice. Now, I've talked about all the things that we face in America, and it doesn't mean that you don't have compassion for people in your community. It doesn't mean that you don't care about people, regardless if they're purple with pink feet. What it means is that the people that say that they're here to help you and that they're the ones that have the compassion, they're the ones that are making victims of people in our society, making of them sitting ducks. This first video you're going to see is a part of that Citizen Vigilante, and this is the girl that was raped. And we talked about this video before. I'm going to play that video before, but this is the girl when asked by the Citizen Vigilante whether or not justice was served. Let's go to play the first video.
Good afternoon.
Yes? What do you want? Who are you? Another one of those reporters?
Do I look like a reporter to you? No, I just have one question. Are you satisfied with the result that was reached in court? Was your daughter?
Why do you ask this? How can you ask this? How do you know where we live?
So you found no justice in court, right?
I don't have to answer your questions, Mom. This is bullshit. Go away. No. There was no justice.
Good afternoon.
James, that video was supposed to be about Germany or Europe.
Who banned it?
Germany.
Wow. It's interesting.
I have another video, and this is, by the way, that was considered or called the sound of freedom of Europe. But we don't understand how close Europe is to what the United States is becoming because they tried it there first. And they got people to fall in line. Stupid people, betrayers, that for a bag of shekels were willing to sell out their own countrymen. Here's an interview with the director, the producer of that. And he draws the conclusions behind why this hits so close to home, because it's so truthful. And if it was reversed and it was killing a migrant, they would be celebrating it. Let's go ahead and play it.
Es wird verzweifelt versucht, quasi die Migrantenkriminalität wegzuhalten vom Volk.
Take it down. We will do a translation of that and put it back up. The next one is, if you missed the show that we had before, parental guidance is suggested. This is the citizen vigilante, which, by the way, I went back and watched it a second time because I wanted to see what part of the movie, James, what part of the movie did I miss? Like what you don't make a movie like this without recognizing where people are going in the country.
Yeah, you wonder what kind of what advocacy and on the other side is putting something like this out. Obviously drawing the same conclusions that eventually this is going to happen. I immediately go to that, and then I want to see the first countries that don't allow it. It's obvious, It
is very obvious. There's calls for them to take it down from every station, from Amazon all the way down.
You're painting a wrong picture. You're going to get people hurt. They're this, that, and the other thing, who are the same people not responding to stabs. Countless people stabbed, raped, beaten.
Well, I want to play this. You said you've seen parts of it.
Just parts of it. I haven't gone from the beginning to the end, but I can surmise probably a lot.
There's a part where the citizen vigilante in the movie mows down police officers. They told him, I gave you an opportunity to step away, and you didn't.
With the AKs there.
And I read a thing about what is that comparing it to? And we tell the police every day that you have an opportunity to stand up and do the right thing. But they continually just persecute and come after Americans. We become their targets. Antifa steps out on the street, does harm, and they're protected. In 2020, when we stepped out and stopped Antifa from burning down buildings and for taking out police stations, we were the ones that were called the militant group. Well, they were said that they were the mostly peaceful protesters. It's 6 minutes. Parental guidance is suggested. You play it.
What the fuck? What's wrong?
Hello, Ibrahim. Blessings to you and your family. I was wondering if we could have a quick chat about your son.
Are you a journalist?
No, I'm just a citizen. Here to help.
If you want something, you can go to our lawyer. We don't have nothing to say. Sorry.
Maybe we have just a little chat. Back. Oh, good. Yusuf's here. Relax. Go. Hello, Yusuf.
Yusuf, run!
Where are they going to go?
What are you doing?
Go tend to your son. Tie something around his leg. I didn't hit an artery. He should be fine. You. Get the cell phones off the table. All of them. Pick them up.
Dad.
Move Yusuf to the couch.
Dad.
Over to the couch. Cell phones down on the table.
What do you want
Face
from
down
us?
on the table. I want you to have a seat. And we're going to have a little chat.
What are you doing?
Have a seat. Have a seat. Sit. 3, 2, 1. Your son and his friends had to rape that 14-year-old girl. So traumatized from their childhood that they couldn't keep their dicks in their pants.
He's young. He don't know nothing.
Is that why you did it, Yusuf?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry we did that. We thought she wanted...
Thought that she wanted you to grab her and pull her into a bush in the quiet part of the park. And she wanted you to put your hand over her mouth while your 7 friends took turns raping her. She had to crawl out of those bushes on her hands and knees. And now she lives every single day afraid of what you and your friends might do since you were acquitted. It was very good work by your attorney, by the way, painting them as the victim. What was it? Traumatic integration?
But we're all getting mental help now and support. We will be better in the future. I promise that.
It's the right answer. The only problem is that on your social media, since the event, I have not seen any regret or empathy. In fact, I think you said that she deserved to be raped.
What I mean is that they dress wrong and just make boys horny with their mini skirts. They show their legs and breasts.
You wrote that she deserved it.
I will delete it.
Are these the values you're teaching your children?
I teach him the values from Quran and these values from our family.
Well, if these are your values, that women in America and Europe deserve to be raped because of a dress code, why did you come here?
You know that we have several wars in our country and we have a dangerous life. That's why we are here. And I think you know that.
Do you know what I think?
Why?
I don't think it was the good ones that got out of your country. I think it was the bad ones. And I think you brought with you your archaic value system and your commitment to religion over democracy and over anything else, including the rule of law. Yusuf, you're going to pick up your phone. You're going to start calling your friends one by one and telling them to come over here right now that you have new information for them.
No.
Yes, you will.
And what do you want to do with them?
Oh, we're just going to have a little chat. Same as we're having right now.
I will not call them.
No? Interesting. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yusuf, call right now. Call!
Thank you.
Hey, Abdul. It's me. You need to come over here. Right now. We could get charged again. We have a problem. I'm here with my attorney. And bring your brother and call Idris. No, right now.
Good job, Yusuf. I'll call the next one. Nope. Sit. Sit. You. Go get the door. No funny business, or I shoot Mom. Go.
Okay, okay.
What's wrong?
What do you think?
I mean, how many times has anybody thought about doing anything like that?
I don't
What is
think-
that awakening in people? Is it helpful? Is it moving people to be vigilantes? I mean, as far as the scene is concerned, it's self-explanatory. It's great that they've put something out. But you know, what's the response and what's going to be done with it? You know, is that a call of some sort? Because there are people that will benefit from a hot war within here, right? So there's a lot of variables at play with that. But as far as the movie is concerned, it looks like it scratches an itch that a ton of men have.
27,000 women, their fathers and brothers in the UK over the last 10 years were charged with crimes and received a sentence of over 2.5 years in prison.
With 250,000 victims.
250,000 victims, 27,000 victims, their fathers and their brothers, family members, were charged and were given a sentence for over 2.5 years. Of the 250,000 victims that are out there that are known, less than 3,900 perpetrators saw jail time. 3,900. 250,000 women were raped by illegal migrants, immigrants, illegals, people that don't belong there. They were given houses in the UK. They were given flats that belonged to families for decades. They embraced the socialist ideology. They were told, sit down, shut up. Elections were largely captured, still are. Less than 3,900 of 250,000 rapes. 3,900 perpetrators, like the people that were engaged in raping women and children, went to prison. Over 27,000 victims, their brothers, their fathers.
Perpetrators, you mean?
Perpetrators.
Yeah.
That's what I said. What did I say?
Victims on that one.
Did I? No,
Yeah.
3,900. It's 3,900 perpetrators. 27,000 victims, their fathers and or brothers, served an average of 2.5 years in prison for retaliation against the people that tried or did rape their sisters, their wives, their mothers. The fact that the people in our country that are called illegal and they're here illegally means that they're above the law. The fact that the Supreme Court cannot hear a case related to the removal of over 30 million people that don't belong in this country. Forget the kids that were born here. Fine, we'll relent. But the people that are here illegally, get out of the country. The fact that we can't get voter rolls and that the American people are overtaxed by people that worked for the CIA, that subverted the elections and the sovereignty of nations all over the world, should bother every single one of you. Those are real things. Those statistics, go look them up.
Well, and a great majority of them were military-age men, regardless of where they came from. That's a real thing.
900 diabolical, team evil people saw prison. 250,000 plus victims. 27,000 plus victims, their dads, their brothers, charged with crimes and spend over 2.5 years in prison. Average. Remember the outrage about the young girl that had the axe and they were going to prosecute her while never doing anything to Punjabi Bob?
Oh, yeah. Her whole family was persecuted. England is an absolute mess. Ireland, Scotland, the entirety of the UK. Absolute mess.
Ward says no one is going to start anything, much less finish.
Well, maybe. Start anything here, you mean?
All anyone wants to do is talk and wishcast. That's actually, that's like poking the bear, right? First of all, it is getting to that place where it's hot now. We don't want it to be hot. We want to avoid violence at all costs. We want to give everybody the opportunity 100% to do the right thing and to push Team Evil back into its hole.
May I is reply to this comment too?
Yeah.
I will tell you this. The word meek is strength under control, right? That's what it means. And there really are some badasses that are very, very capable and very aware of what's going on and very aware of the operations that have been going through the United States for quite some time. And this isn't like some call to a bunch of men like, man, gotta stand up and do it. Let me tell you something, much like communism is here, there are definitely men standing, and they're really quiet. I mean, really quiet. And what do they do best? Very capable men, they trap. So that stuff isn't Pollyanna. No one wants that. They're very, very serious people that can fight that don't want that.
No, because they've seen it.
They don't want that.
You've seen violence. And most of the people
that is a last straw.
I will tell you, Mord, you're wrong. Uncle Cracker's got it right. It's already happening overseas in European countries that were designed to spark a civil war. We should start with the people enabling this to happen first. That's why I say that there are targets. We recognize that the judicial grot that we face in our country has got to turn the other corner. It's got to start correcting its woes, and the judges have to start doing right by the American people. They have to abandon their ideology and start embracing the law. That's what has to happen. Because if they don't, I'm telling you right now, they will not survive. They won't survive it. Will they?
No.
And no matter if cameras on corners or anything else is going to stop the wrath of fathers and brothers who have no hope to stand on. This is not Venezuela. Men in this country, we know how to be men. We don't want it. We don't want violence, but man, there are a lot of people. There are a lot of men. They're like, hey. And if you're worried about betrayal or the fact that the FBI is going to do whatever, they've already done it. They've already done it. All we're saying is stop stealing our elections and let the American people decide what direction we go in. Otherwise, this is a takeover of our country. And that means you're a foreign invader. Even if you're a domestic, even if you're an American and you're doing these things to take over our country, you're committing a crime. And it's very clear what we were supposed to do when foreign and domestic terrorists take over our country. And you could do it with a smile, and you could say that we're the nonviolent ones. You do all the things you want. Create dog whistles, put scarlet letters on people, go through all the steps. We don't care. Like, we want to preserve life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and we don't care how we get there. We've already lived good lives. We have a lot of experience. And frankly, we like to fight. Am I wrong?
No. No, you are not. And it's that it's there. It's there. And I think there's some concern, but it feels, I mean, there's a lot of cockiness on that other side. There's a lot of confidence on the other side, thinking that they basically got this thing in the bag. And I'll tell you, as far as the Muslim move with Florida, the Muslim move in New York, you've got Dearborn, Michigan, which is the head of it, and then they've got California. They want Texas now.
Yeah.
This is remember the Alamo moment, if there was ever. That was part of going down there as a film. And there are people very, very well aware. And the irony, again, I've said it earlier, with respect to that, the communists move that kind of ushers that in. They move in Congress with each other because right now they're mutually beneficial. But again, I'm going to repeat this, like the people in kind of lower state government, mid-state government, the people think that they're actually managing things and getting away with stuff, by far aren't. The real warning should be to them, because they will be the first ones, speaking of that, raped and murdered and thrown in the trash. You will be useful idiots for as long as you're useful idiots, and that's not hyperbolic. That's how this machine runs. The second you're done, You're no longer useful. It'll eat you apart. It'll eat you up. You're gone. So if people want to kind of sign up on that, they should probably watch their six in terms of who they're helping. This is dangerous. But at the end of the day, you're seeing what you're seeing in Europe, right? You're seeing that they're not armed. You're seeing what you saw in Venezuela, because what did they do? They took their guns away. It sounds corny at this point, but that's the biggest piece. And what are they trying to do with guns in the United States? They're trying to make a spring or something something that the gun needs to operate, and just go about it and try to dismantle the gun piece by piece. And we're not having it. It's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. And that is the biggest reason why there's no real move, and why they usher in weird shit like UFOs coming into the space, or whatever that silly bit is.
So just so everyone's clear, and I think that it needs to be addressed. We have terrorists all over our country that are doing terroristic things to us. There was a man from New Mexico that came into Colorado that set a fire in order to burn down acres. There are now 34 fires across the United States that are currently burning, and they all started around the same time. It just so happens that the person that they just caught in Colorado, which let me see if I can get that name for you. See if I can send this to you. Oh, wrong one. Oh, they'll use this one. Use this one. Now they actually, just so you know, they tried to blot out his face. Why would you blot out the face of a guy in arrest? There's the video I just sent over to you. Now I have to tell you that the guy that did this, he was on Highway 74, who intentionally set a fire in Jefferson County. That's in the That's in the our area.
Yeah.
Okay. This guy came here from New Mexico. I went ahead and put the thing in the comments. Now, I want you to know that there was a fire that burned at the Colorado-Utah border that took the lives of 3 firefighters. Okay. They were from 3 different states. The 3 firefighters, the thousands of homes, the near 37,000 acres in that particular fire. If you go look at and I wasn't supposed to get access to this, but if you look at the imagery, there's fires that started in different areas at almost identical times. And the reason why arsonists would do this during this dry season that we have right now is to create maximum chaos that favors their Green New Deal. You have this global warming. That's why you have fires, because they're starting the fires. Again, part of the chaos opportunity that they have, part about the conspiracy, is to do this. Now, I want to put this up there. This is the video of him being arrested. This is the video. Let's go ahead and play it really quick. You got it ready? Okay. When you watch this, at the end, I'm going to tell you the problem that I have, and that why citizen vigilantism is actually taking hold in the United States. It is taking hold, guys. And I don't want it to. I don't want it to. In Ohio, a man gave the courts the opportunity to keep a pedophile away from his daughter. That night he walks into her room. She's not there. He goes out, hunts him down, and kills him. The police cover it up and charge him with second-degree murder. But they covered up and hid facts. And the judge basically acted like he didn't know what happened. A pedophile raped his daughter. Not once, not twice. A 14-year-old girl who was 13 at the time. And the courts let the pedophile back on the street, who promptly went and picked his daughter back up and promptly went and tried to rape her again. This man killed her. You don't think citizen vigilantism is about to take hold? There's a man in Colorado who ran a youth group. It was a boxing club. I was friends with him. I played football with him. I played football with his son. This man was full of Jesus. He loved the Lord. His son went out to have a good time and was gunned down by mistake by 3 gang members. The gang member was at a party in a park. The police would not arrest him. They said, we don't have enough evidence. But they all spoke and they knew they were bragging about the fact that they had killed his son. The lifeline of this man, when his son was born, it changed his life. And he went from being a gang member to serving young people. His son worked for him. That man walked into a park, and at that gang member who killed his son's daughter's birthday party, he wiped the guy off the planet. And he's like, if you can't do it, I will. He went to prison, and there was a darkness that overtook this man that I had never seen before. I reached out to him. And he was previously a felon. He had done some bad things in his life, but for over 20 years, he had loved his son so much. And this crooked and rotted system took that from him. Well, here's an arsonist that had the potential to take away people's lives because burning down people's buildings and homes leads to catastrophe like the 3 that were lost. Go ahead, play it.
And he's let yourself put down enough.
Yeah, they gave him that respect, right? See how they did it in multiple spots? See how he walked to multiple spots and did it? Now go put up the article if you would. No? Put up the article? What do you think the bond was for this guy?
Oh God, $4. Nothing. Probably didn't even put one on. He was picked up by the police, and they were forced to have to drop him off at a safe house. I'd be surprised if he's still being held. When did this happen? Yeah.
Jefferson County was arrested a suspect in connection to a brush fire that burned off Highway 74. Royce Ben Jameson was arrested on suspicion of the offense of firing woods or prairie and 3rd-degree criminal trespass. Okay, so that's actually not true. Keep going down. Keep going down. Keep going down. Yesterday, his name was something completely different. Let's show the picture of Jameson. There he is.
Okay.
They literally, so Royce Ben Jameson.
Oh, let's find
that wasn't his name before. They changed it.
What?
Yeah, true story. Now, if you go look up this guy, here's what you're going to find. Do you think this is just an innocent guy that came here to start a fire?
I am going to take a guess at no for 200, please.
He's held on a $5,000 cash bond. Got out pretty quick. It's $500 basically, cash bond.
It doesn't matter. I mean, they could have said a bajillion. It's still.
You let a guy out that's starting fires in order to destroy the lives of other people, kind of like the fire for the restaurant down in Douglas County in Castle Rock.
Destroy as much as they can for property
37
values.
people lost their careers, their jobs, destroyed the business. $10,000 bond.
Yeah. What happened to the land after that? One might ask.
Yeah, and look, I'm just telling everyone right now that I don't want there to be citizen vigilantism, but I think we have to have collectivism. You know, kind of like what Madami talked about, collectivism. We need to have collectivism in order to hold people accountable. See, I'm tired of picketing and going out and doing protests. They don't do anything. They laugh at us. They spit on us from above. It's got to be different than that. You know, the radical left go out there and they just cause trouble and do drugs and act like morons. Ours is just get in, get it done, and get out.
Yeah.
It's kind of a long day, James.
Quite.
I'll let you finish this up so we can pop out. What do you think?
Well, I mean, these are hired guns. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you'd want to do that. One, yes, it supports. Oh, look, you can't have any. You can't have any fires out here because you know it's so dry and there's so many fires. Like, this isn't new. This is going on everywhere, and whether it has anything to do with residential areas or commercial areas, I mean, that's a land. I mean, no one thing that they do is just for one reason. I mean, it takes care of property values. It lays a pathway to eminent domain. I mean, it does all kinds of different things depending on where you start the fire, you know. And it's the same kiddos that, I don't know, some guy got, and he's got $5,000 a month, and of course he'll go. They probably dropped him off. Hey, we'll pick you up down there after you set like 15 of these. And that goes into water, and then they're pumping up water prices because of that, because, oh, well, it's a drought. And if you don't notice, there's so many fires out there. And it's just a constant wheel of fucking bullshit, to put it plainly. At the end of the day, yes, to support their Green New Deal, but to also to make people think that everything's finite, to make everybody think that water is finite. Like, there's a whole bunch of missions behind these fellows. So what do I think? That was taxpayer funded, is what I think.
Yeah. I think we have a large problem in our country, and I think we better address it.
And so is his bond, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, $500, he's already out.
Or was it 500 or 5,000?
5,000 cash bond.
Oh.
But he's out. He's already out.
500.
That's funny. And he's from New Mexico.
Yeah.
So he came to Colorado, came 3 hours into Colorado just to set fires.
Yeah.
So much fun.
And on his way back, he'll set some on the way through Texas.
Again, we're in a different place right now, and I think it's dangerous for us to just not be paying attention to this. All right. Well, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, tune in and more. Thanks for staying with us for the last 2 hours. It was fun. And we were going to have a guest. I was going to have Jake Lang on. Jake and I had a conversation a couple of days ago. And I was like, Jake, stop slapping Qurans with bacon. Stop doing it. Stop inciting the ridiculous with ridiculous, right? Am I wrong?
No, that's real specific.
And I think that
that's not a way to go about
we don't need to provoke. We need to finish. The problem when you provoke is that you can't ever get past provoke. Provoke is, you're not doing anything other than create tension.
Creating time.
And we're not ready for the tension.
Yeah,
we haven't gotten to that place yet.
You're creating time.
Yeah. Yeah. The man, by the way, that we're talking about said his life was over after he killed the man that killed his son, but he felt like he had done the work that he needed to do, is now serving over 2 decades in prison. 25 years to life. We're taking the life of the man at his daughter's birthday party that took his son's life. See, it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. We can get to a place where it doesn't have to be violent. But there's a hopelessness that's settling in on the idea that we're in a lawless society and that they're picking winners and losers and they're treating the American people like slaves, like tax buckets. Commodities. I see you brought your Bible.
I did.
All right. It's because you knew you were sitting next to me and I was going to talk about it. Citizen Nationality.
No, I keep this everywhere. Are you kidding me? Yeah. These are the real weapons.
Yeah, they are the real weapons.
These are their.
You got a relic too. So what do you got there?
Oh, I have Mother Cabrini.
Mother Cabrini. Okay.
And I always keep Mother Mary with me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I can pray us out.
I want you to pray us out.
I've got a good one.
All right. James is going to pray us out. Hey, follow us, share with us, do all this stuff. James, always good to have you.
Thank you so much.
And James will be on once a week at least to try and, he might even go solo and take my spot here and there. We've got some exciting things that we've been working on. You'll hear about it in the next couple of weeks, but I want to make sure it's ink's dry first. So go check us out on Roku. Susan Rice, we're always good to see you. The good Susan Rice.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Ghost, amen. Blessed be the holy and undivided Trinity, now and forever. Amen. Come, O Holy Ghost, fill the hearts of thy faithful, and kindle in them the fire of thy love. Send forth thy Spirit, and they shall be created, and thou shalt renew the face of the earth. O Lord God, grant us an increase of faith, hope, and charity. Root out from among us all sin and vice, infidelity, dissensions, and erroneous opinions. Reprove the wandering, correct the unbelieving, show to all in schism the light of thy grace, and restore in them the unity of thy church. Preserve the pastors and rulers of thy church from all adversities, both mind and body. Give to all sinners true repentance. Preserve the just in righteousness. Confirm all who are dedicated to thy name in their holy resolutions. Have mercy upon all, O Lord. Give food to those who labor. Comfort those who are oppressed with sorrow. Supply the necessities of the needy. Heal the sick and support the dying. Forgive all who have sinned with me, or whom I have sinned with. Repay 100-fold all good whom I have injured, offended, or scandalized. Direct in the way of salvation all my relations and friends, our brothers and sisters in Christ, and all the patriots that deserve your protection, all who pray for us, all who have commended themselves to our prayers, all who think kindly of us. Hear them, O Lord, when they cry unto thee in any tribulation. Bestow perpetual charity both on us and on our enemies. May all be filled with patience, kindness, and mercifulness. May envy, hatred, and all bitterness be put away. Have mercy also, Father, O merciful Father, on all who sleep in Christ, especially on those with whom we have been familiar. Eternal rest give them, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same station. God bless you.
Rise up untamed in the heart of the fight where the wild ones roam. Joe Oltmann's calling, bringing truth back home. From conservative daily to this untamed fire, we shatter the silence, lifting spirits higher. No chains can hold us, no lies can prevail. Authentic and fearless on this rugged trail. Patriots gather under stars and stripes. Untamed nation, igniting the night. Untamed nation, let the truth roll out in this land of the free. Standing proud from sea to shining sea, we won't back down. Catch the fire, wear the crown. Untamed nation, it's our battle song, motivating hearts where the brave belong. Yeah, untamed and wild, forever strong. Play it again all night long. Break the mold, chase the real. No more games, time to heal. Joe's voice leads the untamed crew.